Hey, what is going on, YouTube world? We are KRT LYFE, KRT LYFE with a Y. Like, subscribe, comment, all that cool stuff. This is your beautiful sister Kat, and I am your brother Reza. And today is a very special day because behind us is a McLaren, and it might be the closest thing we ever get to a Formula One vehicle. Actually driving it, not just staring at it. Coming up next. So a McLaren is behind us, and I'll be honest with you, my actual understanding and experience and life's experience with McLaren has pretty much only been with the Formula One team. I don't know very much about their consumer products. Their Formula One history goes back to the 1960s. They've been immensely successful and have had so many successful drivers on their team. Niki Lauda, James Hunt, Alan Prost, Lewis Hamilton, just to name a couple. I'm sure y'all probably have heard of one of those guys at least. But yes, they've had a very, very long and illustrious history and have won a lot of races. And they have gradually started, well, not gradually, full-fledged have started to take that racing history and research and development and put it into consumer products. One of their first consumer soirees was the McLaren F1. Largely hailed as a miracle of technology in the automotive world and a very, very ambitious vehicle. But it really didn't sell that many units, and I've actually never seen one in real life. After that, they took a quick hiatus, and they came back strong with the MP4-12C, which is behind us right now. A lot of numbers and a lot of letters.
Super long name.
But can you tell us anything about that? What is that?
Sure. So, McLaren MP4-12C. The MP4 stands for McLaren Project 4, which is collaboration with Ron Dennis Project 4 organization and McLaren. The 12 is the internal vehicle performance index, which used to rate such a key performance factors as power, weight, emissions, aerodynamics, efficiency of the car as well. Funny enough, that index is used not only by McLaren company to rate their own vehicles, but they also used by competitors as well.
Wow. And
that index used as a benchmark for future development of the car also. So, and then lastly, C. The C stands for carbon, and it highlights the application of carbon fiber technology to the future development of the McLaren sports cars.
And this has so much carbon. I would say that the heart and soul of this McLaren MP4-12C
made out of
is carbon. The carbon tub with all the aluminum bits attached to it. So let's go and see how a carbon tub with aluminum attached to it drives. What was that?
I don't know.
Oh, a dog.
Perfect timing.
Okay, so when you push it, keep your hand on it and kind of like put a little bit of effort into it.
Yes,
you got it.
Okay, so I put my hand too far first, so I realized you have to do it on the edge. So I got that part, but
I'm not used to these doors. Like, honestly, it's a combination of a G-Wagon door and some other kind of like confusing car. I don't know what it is. But okay, when you initially get in this car, the first thing you notice is this massive piece right here. This is the actual edge of the carbon fiber tub. This is hollow, and this is the actual structure of the vehicle. It begins right here. Attached to this carbon fiber tub, if you can imagine, is aluminum and aluminum bits that go forward and back. So the front part is for the suspension and the crash zone and the frunk and all that kind of stuff, or the trunk, whatever you want to call it. And then the back part of the suspension, not suspension, but the back part of the aluminum holds the engine and the rear suspension components. So if you imagine a tub with things on both sides of it, that's pretty much how this car is built, which at the time was very unique in the automotive industry. So let's go ahead and get in and take this thing for a drive. And that's like very smooth.
Very smooth.
Holy hell. Very smooth and very civil. It's not like, dang.
This is actually kind of comfy, I gotta say.
I think it's very comfy.
Like, I'm comparing it to, you know, the Lambo that we had reviewed, and that is nothing like it. It's completely different feeling.
Yeah, this is like very nice and manageable, and I mean, it definitely still feels special because of the perspective and how low you
Absolutely.
are, and then these massive mirrors and stuff that come up at a crazy angle.
You definitely have a limited visibility.
But there's not any crazy road noise. Like, it's a little bit of road noise, but it's not like insane.
I gotta say, like, I feel very comfortable in this seat.
Yeah, the seats. Yes, the seats are also like extremely comfortable. The seating position, like the position that you look out on.
I like how the car flows right here too. Like the way the door handle goes into your, you know, the whole temperature control in the middle.
Wow, this car drives
flowing.
Really good. I'm really, really, really impressed because typically when you drive a supercar, it's typically fun, but it's kind of like being on an old wooden roller coaster or something like that.
Yes, being inside here, and right now I'm riding on the passenger seat, and how everything goes and how comfortable it is for a sports car, it actually makes me like McLaren even more.
Yeah.
I already liked them before,
This
takes it on the next level for me.
This has an actual hydraulic suspension, which probably adds to how smooth this thing drives. So it's a hydraulic suspension, and all the four corners are interconnected to each other. The actual air brake in the back is also hydraulic, and the hydraulic suspension actually really feels really good. You can feel it working. I mean, turning is really flat, and it's just extremely comfortable to drive. I mean, this is my first time driving a car with a carbon tub like this, with the aluminum attached to it, but I'm seriously impressed with this car's behavior. And we're like on a back road right now, so the road is kind of bumpy, but it's still very tame and comfortable to drive. Look at this thing go. That sound, like, oh my God.
This makes me a little nervous. I really want to drive it. I'm super excited because I always like these. I like these better as Lambos. They're just like as I mentioned, but this is a pretty expensive car.
All right, time to switch drivers.
It's easier, I feel like, to close the door from the inside from the outside.
There we go. Why. I think we're getting used to it. I think that's what it is.
I'm sweating. Ooh, these brakes, you have to press that pedal.
Yeah.
I thought I'm gonna just touch it and it's gonna go. It is not like that. That pedal has to be like really seriously pressed down.
All right, so the technological points that I wanted to talk about in this car real quick. Obviously, this carbon fiber tub, that was one thing. We already covered that. We covered the aluminum coming out of there. We covered the suspension, the hydraulic suspension, which is really good. Another feature that this car has is torque vectoring brake steering, which is where the actual brakes help you steer. And McLaren actually used that in F1, and it was outlawed in F1 because it gave them so much of an unfair advantage against the other teams. They didn't allow them to use it in F1, but they put it into their road cars.
Well, the steering is very sensitive. I would have to get used to these brakes. These brakes, I'm like, okay, am I pushing this? Like, are you gonna stop? Like, this is wild.
But it feels good though, right?
Oh my God, it feels amazing. I'm afraid to step on gas on this.
What's that?
No, I'm pressing the brakes, but it isn't braking.
You gotta press it in order. It's like a Formula 1 car.
Well, I forgot that I was driving one yesterday, you know.
So the engine and transmission. This 3.8 liter twin turbo motor is amazing. Like, it puts out right at over 600 horsepower, but it feels so good connected to the 7-speed dual clutch transmission.
This is the first time I have driven a car, obviously a sports car, with, like, you know, the smaller steering wheel, and it's so sensitive.
Yeah,
but it's
also very accurate.
Very accurate.
Like, wherever you point the wheel, that's where the car goes.
Yeah.
The handling in sport mode and the actual powertrain in track mode. I just want to hear what this monster's gonna sound like.
Oh my god. The feeling. I mean, it was cool, like you said, but it was nothing like this. This is amazing. If you guys ever get a chance and somebody offers a ride in McLaren, do not turn it down. I'm telling you, you are not going to regret this. This is unbelievable.
Yeah, the ride quality, the smoothness of it. I mean, I just like everything about it, man. We went through the specs. We don't like doing specs in our videos. We like to do more of what a car feels like. And this thing feels amazing. I mean, should we end this here, or should we get outside and end it properly?
I think we're just gonna end it here. I don't know what else to say. I mean, like, I'm just...
Yeah.
It's amazing.
It's amazing. We are KRT Life, KRT Life with a Y. Like, subscribe, comment, all that cool stuff. We didn't expect to be so smitten by this car.
Yes. I feel like I'm completely discombobulated right now. That's why I'm like, I mean, yeah.
Wow.
Find yourself near McLaren to take a ride in it.
Yes. Peace.